Nico from Aldebaran. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
And you've also got your friend now.
Yes, my good friend now. I'm working for Aldebaran. This is our main product.
Okay. And what is Now? Is obviously he's a robot, but what does he do? What's the purpose of Now?
What's the purpose of Now? Basically, we created this robot because our CEO wanted to create a new species that would be companion robots.
Okay.
So robots where you don't focus on what they can do, can they carry heavy stuff and so on, but more on how people want to engage with
So
them.
a very complex kind of level of engagement over just basic fetching and carrying in.
That's exactly that. I mean, everything that we are working on and investing time and money on research is based on how can we enhance interactions with robots, how can we make people more happy interacting with robots. And it's more on that we focus, clearly.
So kind of what functionality have you got in Now?
Well, you got a lot of sensors on the robot, hardware sensors and so on. You got cameras over there, you got inertial boards, you got the tactile sensors and so on.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is also all the developments we've made on the software that allows you to get data out of this. For example, at the moment, if you see you, that's just a picture, but it's also capable of guessing your gender, guessing your age, and take advantage of this in order to deliver a correct answer. I mean, if he starts talking to you, he's not going to use the same word as if he was talking to your grandfather or if he was talking to your son, for example. So these are the things we are taking advantage of.
Yeah. I noticed as well he's very light. He's like a very small, well-behaved, clean toddler. I mean, how...
He was...
Is that deliberate that you kind of kept him tiny?
That was our first idea, was to create a tiny robot in order to go bigger after that.
Okay.
Because you face all the problems with a small robot, but they are easier to solve.
Yes.
So that was our first step. What we discovered is that with a robot of this size, you got a really positive reaction from people because that's the size of a small kid. And so you feel comfortable. We get bigger robots, and the first feeling people have when they see it is not completely the same. So
yes,
on this one, that's a positive robot. You feel comfortable. You know it's not going to do any harm to you or whatever.
Yeah.
So
you can throw it if it goes rogue.
Yeah. So no, you feel cool with this robot.
And inside of it, obviously, this is programmed in Python. This particular model, right?
Yeah. In fact, that's we got Linux behind that. We got our OS that is running on top of Linux, and natively it was some Python in order to program the robot, but we released a Java SDK and lately JavaScript SDK too. So
is that open source? People can kind of hack in and play with that? Or?
Completely. That's really what we want at the moment. We want developers to realize that robots are not something for the future. They are already there, and that they can take advantage of them. They can start programming, and we feel responsible as a company for creating a platform, making it as rich as possible, but then we rely on the inventivity of the developers in order to create activities and apps for the robot.
Can they interact with each other as well if you had multiple units?
Yeah, we test them at Aldebaran in order to make sure that some of them can recognize that it's a robot and not a human being, so we don't have problem with that. But you can completely imagine games between robots in teams with humans or not. So yeah, for that we definitely hope that there will be some protocols for robots to meet each other and so on, and it might be really interesting to monitor.
That would be. And kind of for the future then, obviously at Java 1 we saw the little car with Now, but there's a bit more sophisticated version in Europe.
Well, the Java car that you saw at Java 1 was the robot was kind of driving it, but in fact it was more, he was pretending to do so.
It's like an actor.
Yeah, we have this team of students that created a real Now car in Europe where the robot is really driving himself. So he relies kind of on a 3D sensor in order to see obstacles and so on, but for the rest the robot is really driving the car. From at a company level, what we plan to do is really the product is already available on the market, but we'd like to address the consumer market in the year to come.
Okay, so
this is a big challenge for us.
Developer toy of the year 2015, 2016.
We hope it will be the case. I wouldn't say the toy, but at least the device people get excited by and want to have at home.
And what can we expect kind of from, what are you guys working on for the next evolution of Now? What bits are you fine-tuning?
Well, we are fine-tuning some pieces. I mean, most of them are also bug fixes and so on. With this version, we improved, for example, the microphones in order to be sure that even with a noisy environment, we can keep track of a conversation. We enhanced the gears, for example. We have metallic gears now, so it doesn't break as often as it used to. And for the future, most of the investment, I guess, will be made around making interactions as easy as possible, and development, this is for the end user, and for the developers, making development as easy as possible. We already have a graphical interface with just boxes that you can drag and drop, but we want to make it even more easier so that even kids or grandparents can start creating applications for robots.
Amazing. Thank you very much for chatting with us today.
Thanks for inviting
Thank
us.
you.